Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. Join your hosts, Grayson Jenkins and John Hammerly, as they dive deep into the world of football, along with a special focus on the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Hey, here we go!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Got a quick episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about some NFL news, talking a little Saints-Packers, and giving you guys our top 8 running backs in the upcoming draft. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right, guys, first segment of the day. Like usual, we're just going to go right into some NFL news. We just talked on Tuesday, so there's not really too much to go over. A little bit of news, and then we're going to go into Saints, Packers, just talk a little bit about our teams. So to start it off, we have the whole question of number 0 in the NFL on jerseys, So it just got voted on at the owners conference. So players are now going to be allowed to wear number 0. And a couple guys that already chose to do it were Calvin Ridley, Paris Campbell, and now Micah Parsons is also considering putting on number 0. So I think it's really interesting. So we'll see if people do switch. More teams have a guy that have number 0 on him. John doesn't like it at all. John, what are your thoughts?
I don't. I think it's stupid. Like, number 0, really? I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean, there's nothing good about the number 0.
Like, I don't know. It's an aesthetic, They're just trying to look cool.
It's not that cool.
It's like
big
any
O
other
on your
number.
chest. But it's different, right? In football, I mean, it's big. It's right there on your stomach. In basketball, when they wear it, it's little. It's because you've got the team name and then little, on the side. So I don't know. But it's stupid to me. This is the limit though. Don't go to 00 because then we're pushing it.
00 could look better than normal 0 though on an NFL jersey.
Who could you see that on?
I don't know. Maybe imagine. No, I don't even think it's available. But a lineman wearing 00. Yeah, no, I don't even think it's available. One guy on the Saints that I could see wearing number 0, to quote Ross Jackson, who's a Saints podcaster that I listen to. He says Blake Gillikin, who's our punter, who we just re-signed, and he just gave up his number to Derek Carr, wearing number 0. And I could see it because he's a punter. Punters.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean? He's just a guy. He's a punter on the team wearing number 0.
Yeah,
he would look sick. Swagged out punter. What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just saying. Don't downplay it. It's an important position. We love punters.
No, I mean obviously, yeah, it's an important position, but I'm saying it would be cool for a punter to wear number 0 versus a skill guy or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's open to what skill guys, QB, linebacker, running back, kicker, punter.
Yeah, kicker, punter.
Just not linemen.
Yeah, linemen probably. I guess linebackers, if Micah Parsons is thinking of, or linebackers, D-line.
Yeah. Be interesting is this match of Aaron wore number 0 for the Jets. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, what number do you think he'll wear over there? Just 12?
He's not going to wear 12 because he respects history too much. He won't do that, but who knows? But going back to what you said, if you had to picture someone on the Saints wearing number 0, said you punter, I'd probably say Darnell Savage because he stinks. So I think the coaching staff would give him 0.
Just put the worst player.
Yeah,
the worst player in it.
Stinks. Really inconsistent, but yeah. All right. Next topic. 0 is stupid.
Yeah, so the next topic we had for you guys today was Marvin Jones going to the Lions. Reunited with his old team. It's not a big deal in the NFL world at all, but it's $3 million deal, up to $5 million with incentives and everything. And I think it just bolsters the Lions receiver core a little bit more. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff has those two guys, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of weapons for him. So I guess bringing him in gives him a little bit more security, but I could see him trying to get a little bit more in the draft, later round, something like that.
Yeah, because, they lost TJ Hawkinson in the trade with Minnesota. You lose DJ Chark to the Panthers. So, like we say in every video, in this league, you need multiple weapons, That's something the Packers don't know, but you do. And, they're going to be their receiver 3 behind Williams and St. Brown. And it's a good move after, like I said, losing DJ Chark. More NFL news signing Another signing, Calais Campbell to the Falcons. Contract details haven't came out yet. Don't really understand it. Like
He's older, you know. I think it's
he's
like a kind
old.
of
You would think he's going to a
it's an
team to go win a
move.
Super Bowl. Yeah, I
They're
don't know.
trying to like make their team something around Desmond Ritter, and I don't think it's gonna pay off.
Well,
Like
no.
Desmond Ritter is just his first year he didn't really do much. They're trying to give him weapons and stuff around him, like they're looking at D Hop potentially, um, stuff like that. But like I really just don't see it working out. Like the Panthers are going to be better than them in the division, and the Saints are going to be better than them in the division. Like they have a
Yeah,
good defense now, but their offense isn't going to be able to keep up with other teams. So
yeah. Just interesting. Like Atlanta, just it's out there, you know.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Um, Another big question that we put on our Instagram story. We put questions out, you know, every morning, just to keep you guys on your toes, thinking. Um, Another one is Jalen Carter. Does he fall out of the top 10? It's interesting. I mean, with all the off the field drama and everything, does he fall out of the top 10? I mean, he's a top 10 talent. He's probably the best player in the draft.
It's off the field issues though.
Yeah. And I just saw something before we hopped on saying that the Raiders have crossed him out at number 7. They took him off their draft board. They're not interested anymore. So, I mean, like we said, we listed a couple teams in the top 10, like Seattle at 5. We don't think he goes to 3 to Arizona.
Yeah, it's Will
But
Anderson.
Seattle
Will
at
Anderson.
5. Yeah, Seattle at 5 is interesting. Chicago, right? Um, Philly at 10, maybe, probably not. What are the other teams? Not Raiders anymore.
Houston maybe at
They're out of the
12.
top 10. But yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna. If he doesn't go to the Raiders or the Seahawks, he's not going top 10. Like it's not happening, and it could bump back all of the other D linemen too.
Seahawks and Bears. You meant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are 3 teams or those are 2 teams that other than the Raiders. If they don't go there, if he doesn't go there, then he's not going top 10, and it could bounce back all of those other D linemen we talked about. So I'm interested to see. The draft is always like random stuff happens on draft night.
Yeah.
So
So
guys
we'll
fall like it's completely
Maybe,
random. We'll see.
maybe a team, you know, in the mid-teens trades up into the top 10. They go take him if he's
Yeah.
falling a little bit. With Chicago, you know, I heard Chicago, that number 9 pick might be on the move again. So, you know, it's interesting.
All right, now moving into our next segment. So we haven't really talked too much about the Saints Packers over the last couple episodes. We haven't really had a lot of news to talk about. There really hasn't been much. There still isn't too much, but you know, we got like a little bit of stuff to talk about with you guys. Like the Saints just signed Bryan Edwards as a depth receiver, as a depth piece for us. I think he'll be behind Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, and I think he'll be like a solid 4. And I still think the Saints might even go after a late receiver in the draft. Like there's so many receiver weapons in this draft that they could go anywhere from round 1 to round 7 and get like a solid guy for the team. And we still have Traquan Smith as well. So I'm just really interested to see what they do in the depth wise for receiver. And then also regarding Michael Thomas, who I just mentioned, Dennis Allen said he's still not 100%, which people are making out to be like a big deal. Like Michael Thomas still isn't 100%. His injury history is going to dwindle into this season, which we got 5 months.
It is a big deal.
No, we got 5 months.
He hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, I understand like the past 2 seasons. Like,
and he's still not okay?
I'm talking right now, he still is going to be healthy for the season. Like he might not be healthy like day 1 for training camp, but he's going to be healthy before the season. So I don't really see it as too much of a worry. And a lot of people are freaking out about it, but I think it's still going to be Mike. He might get, I'm not going to say he's going to be 100, like he's not going to get hurt during the season. Who knows with this guy, you know? But I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be amazing. And I think he'll be healthy before the season starts.
Done talking about those Saints?
Yeah. Yeah, that was about it.
Well,
Big
you know, like we said, I mean, like there hasn't been a lot of news. You know, we talked to you 2 days ago. There hasn't been a lot of NFL news in general. So we're just going to touch on the Saints Packers quick. Packers, nothing has happened. You know, we're just in this waiting game with Rodgers, who I'm done talking about. Some clips of Jordan Love and Aaron Jones came out, throwing the ball. Pretty pumped up as a Packer fan. You know what? Because, like, Aaron never did that in the offseason.
What, work with his teammates?
No, never.
Yeah,
you know, he waited till
the kind of guy he is, you know.
Yeah, and he won MVPs. But he
self-focused.
You know, he just did OTAs and training camp, and that's how he built this chemistry with his receivers. But now Jordan Love's the guy, and he's having Aaron Jones. I know he's going to have A.J. Dillon, Christian Watson, and Romeo Doubs fly out to California to come work with him. So, it's exciting as a Packer fan. And that's another thing. It's okay to be exciting about Jordan Love. Like, that's fine. That's okay. That's normal. He was a first-round pick. He's been sitting for 3 years, learning the scheme, learning the system. Aaron, the GOAT, someone who, Aaron wasn't a jerk to him. Aaron was helping him develop. So, and you saw some flashes in preseason, of course, last season against the Eagles. So it's cool to be excited about him. I mean, I am. And, with them throwing already, it's pumped. It's good. That's what you want to see.
I think
then
boost for team chemistry, like losing Aaron, who is kind of like sucking all the energy out of the team by making it all focus on him, with Jordan Love, who's already trying to focus on other guys, build that chemistry with the team. I think it's important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the one thing that has surprised me with the offseason so far is just getting that veteran receiver, right? Because you look at, if you look at the roster right now, it's Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Samori Toure. Like, all the guys we drafted last year at receiver. That's it. Because Lazard, he went to the Jets. Cobb was a free agent. He's going to probably go to the Jets with Aaron. Or he's going to retire. Sammy Watkins we had, but we cut him like mid last year. So, we don't have anyone on the roster who's a veteran pass catcher. So that's kind of scary. I mean, if we don't sign one before the draft, I mean, we got to take one in the first 2 rounds.
One guy I have seen there's been talks about is Jarvis Landry from the Saints. I don't know what you would think about him. He's injured last year, but he is a veteran guy, kind of like that slot type receiver, like Randall Cobb, kind of could fit in the Packers mold, like as a veteran, just to kind of lead up the young guys. What do you think about him?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to bring him to Lambeau. He's a high character guy. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's just like he's kind of in the back of end of his career, right? And it's
for sure.
What's the attractiveness in coming to Green Bay? It's going to make sense with both sides, unless Green Bay's just going to overpay a little. But they have to go get someone. They got to go get someone, find a way, even if it's a veteran tight end. Don't rule that out too, because tight end too, we have no one. So tight end, receiver, we got to bring in a veteran dude. We have to. Even if we get one in the first round, we still have to bring in that vet. So I'm still waiting for that. But like I said, I know it's tough when you're playing this waiting game with Rodgers, when you don't know what money is going to be, available. So, yeah. All right, hopping into our last segment of the day. We got our top 8 running backs in the 2023 NFL Draft ranked. So let's get right into it. Number 8, we got Dwayne McBride from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. He's 5'10", 209 pounds. This guy had crazy production in college. I'm talking 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns in 2021. And this past season, 1,700 yards with 19 touchdowns. The thing is, though, 11 fumbles in 2 years. So the production, good and bad, right? The good. This guy ran for 120 yards or more in 10 out of the 11 games. He's a power back, even though his size doesn't really show that. That's his style of running. He doesn't have the agility to really move, like a speed back, and he can't catch either, but he's a power back. He can really run behind any blocking scheme. He's got good vision, and he's able to make some cuts, but it's not pretty. Like I said, he's a power back. He's slow. He's got a bad burst between the tackles. He's not a threat in the passing game at all. I think his college career, he had 6 total receptions.
Not a pass catcher.
So even if he is, because that just wasn't their offense, he doesn't have any catching game experience the past 3 years, right? So that kind of hurts, especially when you're playing in the NFL today, where running backs are asked to do a lot more than just run, right?
Yeah.
They got to be able to, make plays out of the backfield too, catching the ball. like A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon's a big power back, but he really developed his hands, and he's a good threat out of the backfield too. He can catch balls. Um, like I said, the fumbles are a lot, 11, and if you look at his stats and the numbers, his fumbles usually come in bunches. Like there's a couple games where he's got 2 fumbles, so that's a concern. And like I said, he's got bad size for a power back. I think he's a backup at best, and he's a day 3 kind of guy. I kind of see him going around 5-6, something like that. But yeah, and I just want to say that we had a lot of guys for this number 8 spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of running backs available this draft.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys we could have put in this 8 spot, but I put McBride because I don't think a lot of people have heard of him. And he's got the production, and he's right there with the other guys, so we put him in. And number 7 got Sean Tucker from Syracuse. He's 5'9", 207 pounds. Again, another guy, awesome production in college. In 2021, he ran for 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns, followed by 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns in 2022. So, the production went down a little bit, but the carries went down too. So, that says why. Thing is about him, he did not participate at the combine or his pro day because of a medical concern that we do not know why yet, the public. So, his inner circle. Yeah. And I guess NFL teams know, but we don't know. This guy's fast. He's fast. He can run. So I was really interested to see what his 40 time would be, but he didn't run it. He runs low. He runs low to the ground. He's a tough finisher too. Even with that build at 5'9", 200 pounds, a little smaller, like he could still finish runs. Like I said, slight build for a running back. He's hesitant at the line of scrimmage a lot of times. And he is fast, but, he's playing at Syracuse. Well, not even that, but I don't know. He's, interesting to watch on tape. I wonder how his, speed's going to translate to the NFL. He's not one of these top guys who I know their speed's going to transfer to the NFL, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does. He's a bad pass protector, and that medical concern is it's looming.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Big,
you know what I mean?
It's a big deal, and
he's gonna drop. Yeah, he's gonna drop in the draft. So, I think he's gonna be a backup running back, and I see him go in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah. So next we got Zach Evans. He's 21 years old, out of Ole Miss. He's 5'11", 202 pounds. This guy on film, he looks amazing when he's running the ball. He's quick. He has he's good grace when he's running the ball. He just looks like he's kind of floating out there. So, he has a 4.45 40, and he has good balance, and that's what you want in a modern day rusher is quick, and he can bounce off tackles. But I think the key for Zach Evans is there's a lot of potential there versus being kind of a guy that's been proven because he's been hurt a little bit in college, so he didn't play an insane amount. His stats, he had less than 1,000 yards rushing last year, and he does have a little bit of a fumbling problem. He had 3 or 4 fumbles this past season. So, I think a lot of it for him is he can prove himself, but it's more the potential for the teams drafting him. So he's not afraid of contact. Like I said, he can bounce off of hitters. He ducks his shoulder into guys if he's running through holes, everything like that. So really, some of the weaknesses that can hinder him, I see hindering him in his time in the league would be poor pass catching. He's a poor pass blocker as well. He's just a pure running, same as McBride. He's just a pure rusher. If they can improve his passing game, third down, if he can go on the field on third down and be a weapon as a pass catcher that defenses have to account for, I think he can really be a great pick. But without that third down potential, he's kind of a first, second down backup right now in the league. And I think he'd be a 3rd or 4th round pick. He just has to improve that pass production as well as a little bit more decision making when he's running the ball. Just make quicker decisions and he'll be all right.
Yeah, and that pass protecting, that's been
it's big in the league,
right? That's been a theme the past 3 guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue. And a lot of that, too, is the size of this running back class. these guys are kind of smaller guys, to be honest, and that doesn't change with the next guy. At number 5, Devin Akane from Texas A&M. He's 5'8", 188.
He's
5'8",
athletic though, right? He's a
yeah,
big athletic guy.
5'8", 188 pounds. Ran the fastest 40 at the combine, 4.32. Very good production in college, over 900 yards and at least 10 rushing, 10 total touchdowns in both U's as the lead back for Texas A&M. He's a tough runner. He's a tough runner for someone who's 5'8", 188 pounds. Plays bigger than his size. He's good between the tackles. He lets his blocks develop before turning on that 4.3 speed. He's very patient. He doesn't lose his speed or momentum when cutting. He's a really good route runner. You could even line him up in the slot, and he can go make plays. So I don't know how he's going to be year one as a running back. What role he's going to be in and all that. What I do know is he's going to be an awesome kick returner for any NFL team that gets him. Yeah. He returned a bunch of kicks back in college, and I don't think that's going to change in the NFL. He's going to be really good. The bad. He's small, like I said. His running ability could cause injuries at the next level, right? And sometimes he's too patient, where he's hesitant, can't make up his mind. TFL. And of course, pass protecting. That size is just going to hurt him. I think he could become a starter in the NFL one day, but he definitely has to. But it's definitely not going to come overnight, and I don't think it's realistic in year one. But that's his potential. I think he could be an average, good running back in the league. But like I said, he's going to be an awesome kick returner, and I think that could start his rookie year. I think he's going to go in round 2, round 3. I think that's realistic for him, and he's a good player. He's going to bump up that weight, but he's going to be good.
Yeah, so next guy, I honestly, it was kind of a coin flip between the two of who I put above who. Our fourth guy is Zach Charbonnet, out of UCLA. He's 22 years old, 6'6", 214, and he's a power back. It's what he is. He's a pure downhill. He can make some cuts, but he's a power back. He trucks guys. He's confident when he's running. He lowers his shoulder and he pushes forward when he's tackled. And that's what teams look for, is a guy who isn't afraid to get hit. And so second and third down, you need a few yards, you put him in, he's going to get that for you. So I think that's something a lot of teams look for. He's also one of the few backs that bench pressed. So he bench pressed 18 reps at the combine and ran a 4.53. So as a power back, 4.5 is still,
that's good.
That's fast. So when he gets through the hole, or if he trucks a guy and then has room in front of him, he can accelerate and he gains momentum as he runs. And that's one of the things that as a power back you need to be able to run away from defenders and not just truck them. So if a team can put him as the number 2 back to start, I could see him developing into the 1 if he gets a little bit more coaching. And another thing that's great with him is he's decent at pass catching. Like you said, A.J. Dillon, power back, but he's willing to go to the flat, go where he needs on a route, and catch the ball and get a few yards for him. So I think Zach Charbonnet is going to be really good. And another reason I believe that is because John and I have a Madden franchise. John drafts this guy, Zach Charbonnet. Neither of us know who he is. John picks him up, and two games we play, this guy jumps over my 6-foot tall corner with ease. He trucks every single person on every single play. So Zach Charbonnet, if you're anything like your Madden player, good luck. You're going to dominate the NFL.
Yeah,
so
you're going to be awesome.
We'll see. But weaknesses wise, his footwork for quick cuts isn't the best. He sometimes gets a little bit stuck in his footwork and everything like that. And then a little bit quicker decisions could benefit him for sure. And then just better acceleration in between the tackles, just getting right uphill right away. Once he is able to do that and accommodate with his size as well, he'll be a danger to the league, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think he's a really attractive running back for a lot of teams because in this league it's not just a single running back, it's a running back committee.
Yeah, 1-2 punch.
A lot of teams don't really have a power back. I feel like it's kind of like a dying breed, right? It's more of these kind of smaller, speedy guys who can catch the ball better, who can take it a distance. and not really grind it out and get 3-4 yards. I mean, there's a couple, but not as many as there used to be. So
Yeah.
I think he's a really attractive attractive player for a team to, get him and pair him up with, like their speedy back. It's like, and like you said, I mean, he's kind of like the only power back in his class. Not the only one, but he's definitely on a tier of his own.
Yeah, he's in the top
So,
tier of
yeah,
draft
yeah.
prospects. I see him as a second round, probably late second round, early third round pick.
I think
I
I
what were you
think
gonna say?
I think he's gonna be the third running back taken.
Yeah, I think this guy or the next guy I talk about will be the third guy. And I'm interested to see where he lands. If a team that, like you said, doesn't have a power back thinks, hey, let's get this guy before he falls a little bit further in the draft if someone takes him.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think second round, late, early third round is definitely where he's going to fall. It just kind of depends on where running backs start getting taken, because there could be a run, like we said, with Jalen Carter and D-line. It's up to the runs in the draft, so we'll see. At number 4, we got Tyjae Spears. Or number 3, sorry. Tyjae Spears from Tulane. This guy is going to be the steal of the draft at running back. He's 5'10", 201. He ran a 4.47 40, and I think he's the third most impactful running back in the draft. I don't know if you could say Zach Charbonnet, like John said, would be the third running back taken. He could be the third best. He could be the fourth best. These two guys are kind of a coin flip in my opinion. But Tyjae Spears, when he's running, reminds me of Darren Sproles when he's running almost, or like I'm trying to think of smaller guys, but he's so graceful when he's cutting. He waits for plays to happen. He follows his blocks. He had 21 total touchdowns the last season. So I think it was 18 touchdowns running, 3 receiving. And he makes the first guy miss almost every time he runs the ball. So that's something out of the backfield. If you can make the first guy miss, there's that much more potential on your runs every single time. So that's something I'm really looking forward to in the league. And he's also a great change of pace guy. Like he can make a cut and then accelerate super fast right off of the cut. So I think it was against USC or University of Central Florida, UCF. So he had one rush where he hurdled a guy, juked out like 2 guys, and ran it for 60 yards. He has that potential in every single play, and that's something in the NFL every team's looking for. So I'm interested to see where he goes. Some of his weaknesses are his size, just in general, like size. Like obviously, he's not going to be the greatest power rusher at 5'11", 201. Like he's not going to truck a bunch of dudes. So in close rushes situations, that's where you need a guy like Zach Charbonnet. So that could be something a team looks for in Zach Charbonnet versus Tyjae Spears. So Tyjae Spears also needs to improve his pass production a little bit, like blocking and pass game, like we've discussed with a few other guys, and just catching out of the backfield. He's able to make the first guy miss after the catch, but he has to work on his hands. He has good route running. So like I said, it's really just that production that we need to look for. If he can make that consistent in the league, he's going to be a danger. I see him as maybe a late round 2. I see him honestly going into a late round 2. I think a team that might pick him is the Saints. He's a Tulane guy, New Orleans native. He wants to play for the Saints. Like in the Tulane Pro Day, he talked with a few of the Saints reporters, and he was talking about how the Saints would be a dream for him. Like the only thing that really I could see preventing that is us getting Jamal Williams like we just did. But Alvin Kamara might be out for 6 games. And over that time, Jamal Williams would be RB1, and we need an RB2. We got, Benjamin. I'm interested to see how that plays out. But I really think the Saints are interested in Tyjae Spears if he's available at round 3. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was going to say, like, why would you think that with, Alvin and Jamal? But, running backs too, they get, bang, bang, they get injured a lot too. So, and especially with Alvin's situation.
Yeah, the suspension, everything's put up in the air for the Saints right now. So
yeah, but I don't, like you said, I don't see them reaching in round 2 for him. He's definitely, if they fall to him in round 3, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Number 2, we got Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama. He's 5'9", 199 pounds. Second fastest 40 at the combine at a 4.36. This guy's basically Alvin Kamara 2.0. Like the same build.
He looks like he wears the arm tape.
Yes, the hair, the body. It's like the same player. He's light quick. Um, he's light quick on his feet. Makes really good cuts. Tough to tackle in open field because he can run by you. Um, his speed definitely shows up on his tape. Awesome route running. Really good hands. He's just a mismatch weapon in the passing game, like Alvin Kamara. Um, I mean, if you watch the tape too, it's like the same player. I mean,
Yeah, it really
same
is
thing.
on film.
Yeah. Doesn't always make the right cuts in the inside running game, which translates to him not, he doesn't really let the blocks develop in front of him. So the patience is a little at times, but he'll learn that. That just comes
Yeah.
with the experience too. Um, he's not a power back. He doesn't, and like when I was watching the tape, like he doesn't really fight for those extra yards. Like, you know what I mean? And he's a little undersized, and maybe that's why. But whatever. I don't know. It kind of pisses me off. Like, I
Yeah,
just like a running
you see
back
that.
that kind of like I don't know how to describe it. You just watch the tape and he's running down the sideline instead of like maybe like
And he goes
putting
out
his
of
shoulder,
bounds early.
maybe putting his shoulder down, getting an extra 3 yards. He just chooses to like walk out of bounds. But that's just like who would I want to play for me, right? Like I know AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones.
They're gonna duck
Oh,
their
they're
duck
gonna
their shoulder.
give you a little stiff arm out of bounds, and go get 2 or 3 more yards. That's just little stuff. I don't want to nitpick, but I don't know. And like I said, not he's with his size and his physicality, right? Like I just said, he's not the best with the blitz pickup. Um, I think he could be a really good player, like an above average starter in the league, like
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara. I think maybe he could be a Pro Bowler one day, right? I could see him maybe going late round one, right?
yeah.
Running backs around one is always tricky, right?
It's an iffy pick for a team
It
versus
is.
like other guys that are best player available.
Because running backs are so expendable. They're not. I mean, if you have a decent running back, and does makes the right cuts, offensive line does the right job, he
Yeah, he
can
just has to hit the hole.
have
And
1,000 yards and whatever, right? I mean, look at like Dante Foreman for the Panthers last year. I mean, just good enough. Running backs are
yeah,
just
to do his
expendable.
job.
So, but he's definitely like a. Is he a first round talent? Yeah, probably. I mean, comparing him to Alvin Kamara, right? But he's a
Yeah,
stud. If he doesn't go late round one, he's gonna go early round two. Um, a team I would like if he went early. I mean, late round one, maybe the Chiefs. Be interesting. I don't know.
that'd be dangerous with Mahomes
I
and
know, and I know they
being with
got
him like as a
the. I know they got
backup
the
valve.
kid. I know they got the kid from Rutgers, but like I said, you gotta have multiple running backs in this league, and the Chiefs have always been a team looking for like running backs. So
Yeah,
just gotta
Pacheco and
makes
him,
sense to me.
they're similar too. So like if you had two of them, where if one of them is out the field, like if he
Hmm.
needs a rest, you got the second guy same type of build.
Yeah,
So
or
I
like
could I could see that.
yeah, or like a team like Buffalo, right? They need a back. Maybe they get Zeke. Even if they do, maybe they still get him, right? Maybe they want to see what they have in James Cook. So gonna be interesting. But yeah, I got him going late round one or early round two.
Yeah. So the final guy, I think everyone knows who it's going to be is Bijan Robinson. Um, he's a star running back of the draft. He's basically the most intriguing running back for sure since Saquon coming into the draft. This guy is 21 years old, 5'11", 215 out of Texas. He's like prime running back size. And he ran a 4.46 40, had 20 total touchdowns and 1,900 total yards. He did everything: pass catching, running. He's quick in between the tackles. He's strong in between the tackles, and he fights for extra yards every single run. So as a guy who can make people miss, make quick cuts, he really has everything that like a running back needs in the NFL. So everyone is looking at this guy as the number one running back taken. And the question is, are teams willing to reach for him in the draft, or are teams going to let him fall? Because there's a lot of teams that will pick him if he falls, but it's just determines on, like you said, round one running back pick is risky. So does the team want to do that, or do they want to draft like a defensive player for themselves or a different offensive weapon? So we'll see. Some of his weaknesses are just he's a little slow on decision making, but other than that, like he has it all. Like his great footwork allows for him to like make quick jump cuts, spin moves, jukes out defenders like when he needs to. He really does it all. So I'm interested to see where he goes. Some of the landing spots, I have a few landing spots for him because again, like I said, he can go early round one, he can go mid round one, late round one. He could go top of the second if no one wants to reach on a first. I don't see him going in the second, but I'm saying
No. He's going in the first round.
He is. He should. But
I don't know where
I'm
he's going to
saying,
fall.
Like,
yeah.
So the highest pick I have taking him would be Philly at 10.
10. Yeah.
You know, they've wanted a run game, and with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback, having him and Bijan Robinson as like a running combos, it's deadly. And they have the O-line to do it. They just lost Miles Sanders. They retained Boston Scott, but Boston Scott's a smaller guy. You know, he's not really going to be that like up the middle type guy that Bijan Robinson could be for them. And the second highest, I have the Chargers. If they lose Austin Eckler, you know, I could see that happening. Like he's a similar guy to Eckler. He could do the same types of things. I think he's just a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. But that's an intriguing spot for him to go. And then the spot where I think he would be probably the best fit for him is the Cowboys at 26. He's a Texas guy already, staying in the state. And the Cowboys love their running backs that can power through that O-line that they got behind them or in front of him. So they got Tony Pollard back. They franchise tagged him, right? But the thing with Tony Pollard is he's coming off of a fractured leg. So he's injured. So you don't know for sure if he's going to come back same as he was.
And it's a franchise tag, right? That's a 1-year deal. So
you
don't
could
know
leave after next year.
If you're going to have him back next year.
Yeah, and like we said, like running backs are dime a dozen, but getting a star running back that you could have for a few years under the rookie contract, like that's a great deal for the Cowboys. So that's something they definitely would want on the team, especially with running back being like their only kind of not iffy, but they need another running back. They need another tight end possibly too. But the next guy I could see him going to would be the Bills. Bills at 27. I said it earlier when we were talking about Zeke, where he was going to land. John said the Bills, and I said, hold up, I see Bijan Robinson landing there. If he falls to the Bills are taking him 100% if they don't get Zeke. It makes too much sense not for them not to, you know? Like they have receivers, they have everything else, but a star running back next to Josh Allen with Bijan's like caliber of talent, that's deadly. So
yeah, another team that I just want to mention because I kind of forgot about them, like a lot of people do. This is the Chicago Bears. Their running back DD team.
Got Montgomery.
Well, you know.
Or not Montgomery. Who'd they sign? They just signed someone. They lost Montgomery. They signed a running back in free agency, I thought. No?
I don't think so.
Yeah, then I guess they could get Bijan Robinson.
And you look at them, right? But even if they did, right? I mean, there's no bad, you know, you could take 2 running backs. You know, so they got number 9, right? And that's an interesting pick because you said, hey, the highest I could see him going is 10. So we'll bet one spot in front to Chicago at 9. I don't think that's going to happen because I think they're going to get a tackle, maybe Jalen Carter. If they do want to trade back, let's say they trade back to, I don't know, right, 14, 16, mid-teens, something like that.
That's prime Bijan location.
He falls a little bit. I could see Chicago taking him and just getting another weapon for Fields.
Yeah,
that would be a scary running attack.
Dual running back attack in the backfield.
You said that, not me.
At all the Bears fans. Yeah. Nah, I think Justin Fields will be all right, but he's not an insane passing threat. Like most of his plays from last year that everyone was like, "Oh, holy crap, Justin Fields is a dog." Whereas running plays, like that's what drew attention to him last year, not his passing. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. That's a discussion for another time. All right, thanks for tuning in again. We appreciate it. And, you know, if you didn't figure it out by now, so every episode we're going to be breaking down a position group for the upcoming draft. We're going to go offense, defense, alternating, keep it interesting, focus on both sides of the ball. So thanks for watching. Just make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Hammer Pod. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. If you watch it on YouTube, Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment. Agree, disagree. We want to hear it. And appreciate it. Have a good week.
See you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!